So here we are again then, and Johnny, just looking at you now, you look angelic. I've got to say, you know, like when they have those videos of people who've gone to the other side and they come back and they speak to you from beyond. You look at
it's the sun behind me.
You look gorgeous. Why are you outside then?
Why? Because I got my piano tuner downstairs. He'd be making a noise doing the piano.
Right.
So I thought I'd come outside and we do it. I'm just on my patio in my garden.
Looks lovely. And you've had a nice little, well, I was going to say you've had a nice little break. Tell me where you've been and what happened.
Right, well, Alwyn decided she'd like to go and see Brixham. She'd never been. So I went there years and years ago. It's a lovely little harbour. It is. It's where they do all the trawlers come in with the fish. And it's like. So down we go for 2 nights. And if weather wasn't too bad, to be honest, it was forecast to be raining every day, but it didn't. And then the first night we ate at the hotel and I had a prawn cocktail.
Lovely. Nice to start.
And I love prawn cocktails.
Yeah.
But I must have had a dodgy prawn because in the night I got the unholy bellyache. And, well, you know the rest. It was both ends. And, I was in the bathroom. So Alwyn got the wind up and she did 999 because she thought I was having a heart attack. Anyway, along come the paramedics.
Yeah.
And I'm on the bed by this time looking like death warmed up. And they're sticking all these wires on me. Then they're going to give me an ECG and they're going to this, that. I sound like...
it is like that. There's a draft. There's not a draft.
There's a draft here. Don't want to sit there. Anyway, they're doing it, the 2 guys, and one of them says to me, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm an actor and a singer." "That's it. You're Marco," he said. I said, "What?" I said, "Here I am on the bed dying, and you say I'm Marco." "I'm a big fan," he said. "I know all the lines." He said, "Oh, Space, come on, I got 7 Elvises waiting for a cappuccino." He knew my line. He said, "You're going to get the first class treatment now, boy," he said. So he tested me for everything. Then he wanted a selfie. I'm in bed, I'm like stripped to the waist, looking like death, and I did a selfie. So goodness knows where you should take that. It was rather interesting.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, the only time it's ever happened to me is I took my dad to hospital. He wasn't very well at the time, so I left him in the waiting room and said, "Do you want something to eat? Do you want a sandwich or something?" And you know, times in our careers, Johnny, you know, sometimes you're making money, you know, you've been there.
That's right.
Sometimes you're not making any money and wondering how on earth you're going to pay the bills. It was one of those times, you know, and I'd actually had a bill from MasterCard that morning thinking, oh, shoot, how am I going to do this now? Anyway, I went down to the cafeteria and got a tray full of sandwiches and a cup of tea, and the lady said, "Oh, shit, oh, you look like that Mal Pope." And I said, "That's funny." I said, "Quite a lot of people say that, yeah." And then she said to me, "I bet you wish you had his money." Thinking, if you'd only seen my bank account and my Visa bill or whatever it was to car this morning. I said, yeah, it must be.
But you know, you say about people recognising. I remember a story. It was Jimmy Tarbuck told me this. He was a big golfer, Tarbuck, and he was in a taxi with Sean Connery and, what's his name, Bruce Forsyth. They're all going to play golf somewhere. So the taxi driver says to Tarbuck, he says, "You look familiar." He says, "I'm Jimmy Tarbuck." He says, "Nah, you're not Jimmy Tarbuck." He said, "You look like him." No, he said, "Who's the other one?" He said, "He's Bruce Forsyth." He said, "You get me at it." So he said, if you're Tarbuck and you're Forsyth, I'm James Bond. So Sean Connery says, "No, I'm James Bond." It's great, isn't it?
That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
Because they think if they see you out, they think you're somebody else. Because they're not used to seeing you out of context.
Yeah.
And you remember doing a show once with Dave King, the old comedian. Do you remember Dave King?
Yeah, he's great, wasn't he?
He used to be huge in the 50s and early 60s. Anyway, I'm doing a tour with him, and we'd had a bad night at the theatre. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't a good audience. And we went 10-pin bowling, see? And this woman came up and she said, "Oh," she said, "I love you," she said. And then she turns to me and said, "It is him, innit?" I said, "Who?" She said, "Benny Hill."
Oh, the worst one was a lady called Angela. I won't say her surname. This happened. I mean, this wasn't face to face. She was the producer on the AM program, and Johnny Morris was going to go to Aberystwyth, I think, to do like a special kids event. You know, animal magic guy. To do a story of Juanita the Spanish Lobster, which was fantastic. And they just thought, right, get him on the AM program, early morning program on BBC Radio Wales. So in those days, it was before Google and everything and a computer, so we used to have a big contacts book. So she went through the contacts book, Johnny Morris, right? She went, Mr. Morris. He said, yes. She said, my name's Angela from BBC Radio Wales. I produce the early morning programme, AM with Chris Stewart on BBC Radio Wales. He said, that's great. She said, we'd love to have you on the programme. He said, I'd be delighted to come on. She said, and he said, if you do come on, she said to him, would you do Juanita the Spanish Lobster? And he said, but my dear, I am the Secretary of State for Wales. It wasn't Johnny Morris, it was John Morris, Secretary of State for Wales at that time. So
it's like Ted Rogers told me, because Ted, he did a lot with Bing Crosby, you know.
Yeah.
What happened was, when Bing Crosby, he did a command performance, Ted did, and I think he was on with Perry Como.
Wow.
And Como said, I'm going to tell a few people about you. You'd be a great, like, a warm-up comic for some of the big stars. So anyway, he said, thank you very much. And he said, I've heard all this before and forgot about it. And he was in his little cottage in Sarrett, and the phone went, and the fellow said, hello there, Ted, this is Bing Crosby. He said, go on now. He thought it was somebody taking the mic, but it was Bing Crosby. He said, I'd follow up from you from Perry. He said, I want you to be on my show, and he did his shows there. But can you imagine if somebody rang you up and said, look, I'm Frank Sinatra? You'd think they were taking a mickey, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I remember when Elton John used to phone the house. It was always a little bit pinch yourself, just in case it was somebody taking the mickey.
That's right, you never know, do you?
You never know. Actually, I'm just thinking about now, and it is a story I think we mentioned before when Max was on, but it was my 27th birthday. We're in Kowloon. We're on a tour of Southeast Asia with Max, and it was my birthday. And we went to this Vietnamese restaurant, and they had a hammered organ and some, like hymn books, so we could share them. And Eve Graham from the New Seekers, she sang "I Like to Teach the World to Sing," and it went down all right, but didn't turn many heads. Then Max got up, and he really did. He undid his buttons to the waist, told everybody, it's Tom Jones here. And he sang "The Green, Green Grass of Home," and we didn't buy any chips or beer all night. It was so maybe it's good to pretend to be somebody. There's a lovely lad in Swansea who's a taxi driver. And his name's Mal as well, and he's got that classic look. He's bald, he wears glasses, and he's got a goatee beard. And all the time, in restaurants and stuff like that. He's like, but we always have a good lad, and he's a good lad. So I haven't had to pick up any bills.
We can make a fortune doing lookalikes. I can't do Frankie Vaughan anymore because he's gone.
How was Brixton, by the way? Was it nice? Because it's very different across the border these days with masks and all that.
Yeah,
stuff,
I was amazed. It was a bit like being let out of jail, if I'm honest. Mm-hmm. I mean, you went into a pub, nobody had a mask on, and the restaurants, they didn't have masks. That was it. It's open house now. It's all over.
Yeah.
And everybody was milling about it, millions of people, and they were all having a good time. In fact, what was strange was all the restaurants were packed.
Yes.
And we couldn't get into a restaurant the first night. They're all booked out till Thursday.
Goodness me. And
apparently it's a lot to do with COVID because, people are not going abroad, they're staying in this country.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, when they went into lockdown, they did the furlough, a lot of their staff and their chefs, they left and did other jobs, and they never came back. So they're understaffed, so they can't cater for the same amount. Yeah. So it's really big change down there.
Yeah. And
but the traffic was pretty bad on the M5, I must be honest. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
And I suppose that's
there you go. It's good for the country. People are spending money in the country.
Yeah. And it's like that whole thing about avoiding something like the plague. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. Because it still hasn't gone away completely, is it? We're not particularly avoiding it.
No, it hasn't, but it's never going to go away. It's like the flu. It's going to be here. That's it. I read somewhere that once it gets up to 93% herd immunity, that's it. It's over. We just got to get on with it. And we're up to 87% already. So and Wales, I think, is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the stats. It's pretty good here.
Yeah. So how are the grandchildren and everything? Because I know.
They're all right. They're about someone. Do you want to have a look at them?
Yeah, come on. Give them a shout. Give them a shout.
She wants to say hello to Mal.
So has it been a busy day with the grandchildren?
It's busy every week. I got them 3 days a week. And now they're on holiday. It's murder. It's what are we doing now, Ty? Cost me 50 quid on the rides in Ballyelland the other day. Funny enough, I saw Marco down there. He gave me some donuts and nothing. Say hello. Come here. This is Alyssa.
Hi, Alyssa.
Hello, Mal.
How are you? Nice to see you. Are you all right? Are you having a good time with Tide? Are you having a good time?
Yeah, not half.
On the right.
Where's this one? Come here, you.
Another one.
Oops, sorry.
Who's this one?
Something else.
Right.
This one.
Georgina.
Georgina, that is.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, lovely looking girl. Fair play. Beautiful girls. A good job they take after their grandmother. That's all I'm saying, Alwyn. Thank goodness they take after. So what's the plan for the rest of the day then? Where are you going now?
Well, I don't know. Hey, Owen, come and tell him about when the guy...
Sorry?
Come and tell him when you did 999.
So Alwyn thought you were very... You
did 999 because I had the food poisoning.
Three Welsh grandmothers. 999.
Put that in your ear, you can hear him.
Yeah. So
this is al fresco, you know.
Do you know
really
what?
Good.
Yeah. He's getting really rude now to me.
What do you mean?
He's shouting at me all the time. Right, well, he wasn't at all well.
Yeah.
So I decided, I looked at him and he was really clammy.
Yeah.
So I said, right, I don't really know what to do. I think I shall phone the ambulance. He said, oh. So I did. Anyway, they were very nice. And they said, one thing he said to me was, the man on the other end, he said, do you have a defibrillator there? I said, no. Shut up, John. I said, no. So he said, well, do you think you could possibly get hold of one? Well, I don't know. I said, so I asked the man who worked in the hotel. Yeah. I said, do you have a defibrillator? He said, no, we don't, but there is one by the library. So I said, apparently there is one by the library. I said, now on the phone back again. So he said, could you send somebody to go and fetch it? I said, I don't think so. Oh, right. Okay, then. He said, okay. Now then, is he still breathing? I said, yes, he's still breathing. He said, well, if he gets any worse, can you put him on his side, please? I mean, just imagine it. He's on the loo at the moment. So I said, yes, put him on his side and make him comfortable. And please just try and reassure him. I said, I certainly will. I said, yes, thank you very much indeed. So then they came. And it was ever so funny because the man said, right, we'll have to have a few details now. So we were having the details. Don't hit the table, darling, because otherwise we can't hear. Georgina, thank you. So, so he said name. I said name, date of birth. He said, what was your occupation? So John said, well, I was an actor and a singer, at which point the bloke called Sam said, I knew it, he said. You are Marco, he said. You're Marco, aren't you? And John said, well, yeah, I was, yes. Oh, I love that. Now then, they've done nothing for John so far, but this man was so enthralled with the idea that he was talking to Marco that he started doing all his lines. He knew all the lines, and I was quite impressed, and I thought, are they going to do anything here now? And then he said, you'll get first-class treatment now, he said.
The piano tune, thank you.
Right. Well, there we are. Next episode, I shall tell you what happened.
Fantastic. I remember they did this with the Osbournes. Do you remember that with Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne, yeah.
They should do it with the Tudors, honestly.
I thought we should be all the Tudors online.
That's terrific. All right. Well, I know you got the piano tuner coming, so you want to make sure he's
here now. He's a good boy. We haven't had him for 2 years.
Oh, there we are.
So my piano is pretty out of tune because I moved it, and as you know, move a piano, it drops in pitch. It's my father's piano. It's a wonderful old piano. It's an upright grand, but it's got a great tone,
Yeah, lovely. All right.
So I learnt on it, and he learnt on it, and the kids have played it. Everybody's played it.
Fantastic. And I just imagine if it had been Jackie Mason instead of you, on the bed. Are you comfortable? Comfortable?
It's just comfortable. You're a paramedic for a man like me.
I'm making a living.
There's only 2 of you. There should be 3. Because the ambulance, I don't want to go in the ambulance because you haven't got air conditioning to control it. All
right, look, and the dog's barking and everything now.
Dog's right. It's all hell. Gin kids, dogs barking.
Fantastic. All right, well, look, have a lovely day, and take care of yourself now. No more prawns, all right?
I will. Listen now. Yeah. Next week, I think he's letting us all out of jail, isn't he?
I think it is, isn't it? August the 9th.
The First Minister, yes. Everybody, no social distancing and all that. Like. We still have to wear masks in crowded places. Yeah. But I'm going to come down to see you in Swansea. We'll have a cup of tea.
We'll do it. Oh, by the way, I've got a new record out, so I'll play that at the end of this video as well. It'll be the first time it's ever played on.
Is this another one?
It's another one.
On top of the one you did.
Yeah, this is all about the summer coming to an end. Because, of course, Gorffennaf, July in Welsh, means...
That's right. It means end of the summer.
End of the summer, so we're
you're telling me you're prolific, boy.
I know. No, it's desperate.
I'll have to start dancing in the garage again. That's all it is.
All right, but left the family. I've seen most of them. Left the family, and we'll speak soon. Thanks, Johnny Tuna.
Ta-da,
Ta-da, bye-bye.
Summertime when the sun was high, she told me all her secrets until the tears ran dry. Then I took her up and I held her and I said, you are no fool, but I could be the one who makes you whole. But now that the summer's gone, I still hear your voice calling out my name. Whoa, now that the summer's gone, I still feel the same. Before the rains came, the summer sun kept shining just like the day before. With every passing hour making me love you more. All those precious silent moments where the secret vows are made, I still remember everything you said. But now that the summer's gone, I still hear your voice calling out my name. Whoa, now that the summer's gone, I still feel the same. Before the rains came, I've never ever wanted anyone more than you, and everything reminds